Yeah, I bet Vlad's behind this. I bet Vlad's behind all these ghosts crawling around without knees. That sounds exactly like something he'd be up to. So, there's a lot of ghosts just kind of floating around. And we should get rid of all their portals, because we don't want them infesting Danny's school. The thing I remember most about the outside here is that we gotta go inside this one fenced-in area over here. Which isn't as hard as you might think, because we just gotta jump on the boxes and jump right in. And I thought that was kind of weird. I figured they would have made us use SpongeBob's ability, or Danny's phase through walls ability, or even Danny's wall jump, but no, you just jump on boxes and go through. So there's a few points in the game where they want you to do stuff like this, where they want you to destroy all the enemies before going inside. The other one that comes to mind is in Retroville, but in Retroville there's a lot more platforming, not just shooting stuff. Not that the shooting stuff is bad, it's just real simple. But it only lasts like a minute or so, maybe under a minute if you're even better at it than me. Point is, it's really easy and fast. And you get to see the outside of Casper High, so I'm not complaining. This game's environments are actually really nice looking. Even if the game wasn't good, which it is, it's very good, I still probably enjoy it because of the environments. You know, I like walking around the various Nicktoons locations. We're going to switch to Timmy for this section, because there's a lot of haunted books flying through these lockers, and since Timmy's faster, he can get through them without getting hit easier. You don't need to switch to Timmy. It just makes this section a lot easier. And it's what Timmy's here for, is going fast. That's his most useful ability. Timmy also has different momentum than the other Nicktoons while jumping, so you gotta keep that in mind. It makes some jumps a lot easier, though. I think this room is really fun, really simple platforming. Obviously a lot easier with Jimmy. If we touch the floor, it hurts us. The floor is not lava, though. We don't die instantly. If we touch it, it just hurts a lot. So yeah, the smart thing to do would be to switch to Jimmy for this section, but I wanted to show off Timmy's platforming physics real quick. And sides, we're going to use Jimmy later for another platforming section in this level. Hey look, an area where Danny can pass through the wall. We're not going to do that, though. Okay, more haunted books, same as the first time, but this time there's goo on the floor that'll hurt us if we step in it, so it's harder. Using Timmy here is still not mandatory, but it's much more recommended than the first time. And using Timmy here again, not mandatory, but outrunning the ghost fire is a lot easier with him. Timmy gets a lot of use in this level, really. Alright, so we turned off the stove fire, now we can run across the stove. Which you should never do, even if the stove is off. Don't ever do that in real life. And after we're done playing around with the stove and kitchenware, which is for some reason a chandelier trying to stab us, we're going to switch to Jimmy. Because this area is just all goo with some nasty dishes piled up. And while we can platform on these nasty dishes with the other characters, doing it with Jimmy is so much easier. So much easier. I'm pretty sure they definitely intended you to use Jimmy for this section. Because not using Jimmy is just not a good idea at all. Now we're in the Casper High football field. And just like when we started the level, we gotta get rid of all the ghosts. And we're gonna use Danny for that, as we usually do when we gotta do combat stuff, because Danny's shot's the best one. You know, every time I played this game where I'd look back at my recordings of this game, I always wonder why more people didn't appreciate it. I mean, I guess it was on the DS and the portable versions, generally tend to be viewed as inferior in a lot of cases, but they're not always, and this is a good example of that. This game's way better than the console versions, and it's also really colorful and creative, and it's just a very good 3D platformer all around. You know, there's not a lot I don't like about it. There's a couple things, like the few sections where you're forced to do combat, they're kind of boring, but they're not super bad because they go away real fast. And there's a couple minigames I really hate, but aside from that, I don't have too many complaints about the game. And I think I already mentioned I really like the environments in this game. They're recognizable as the environments they're supposed to be, and they're surprisingly colorful and detailed for a Nintendo DS game, especially a 3D one. So yeah, if you ever buy Nicktoons games, this one and Toy Bots are the ones to go for. This one if you want what probably came to mind when you first thought of a Nicktoons game as a kid, and Toy Bots if you want to get your butt kicked and want really good game design. Alright, now we got to put the ghost back in the ghost portal, because for some reason there's a ghost portal in the football field. Don't think too much about it. But after we're done with this, the level's over, and I'll see you next time.